Who are the 144,000 spoken of in ancient prophecy? Are they literal chosen souls, a symbolic riddle, or a sign of humanity's awakening on a cosmic scale? For centuries, this number has sparked mystery, debate, and hope. Could it represent a tipping point where enough awakened individuals shift the story of our world? The truth may be far deeper than religion has told us. Explore the hidden meaning of 144,000 in this video. The ancient texts say there are 144,000 souls who will awaken and change the course of history. Is there more to this mystic number than what religion has quoted to be the chosen ones? Is it possible for a different perspective to be explored? Are these souls chosen from some arbitrary lottery? Is this number even literal, or does it hold a deeper symbolic meaning? Let's dive into these questions. 144,000 is not a roster, it's a riddle. Look at it. 12 times 12 times 1,000. 12. The number of wholeness, the complete circle, the zodiac, the tribes of Israel, the disciples. With another 12 to mirror it, because everything real in the psyche reflects. Above and below, within and without. And 1,000 for multiplication to infinity. A signal that this isn't small. This is on a cosmic scale, for it's the big self emerging in humanity. What happens when this mysterious number is reached? Will the end times come and the apocalypse that everyone preaches finally take shape? And best of all, what if you're one of those chosen? Humanity isn't suffering because of evil. It's suffering because of sleepwalkers. And now, as more of us awaken, the real challenge begins. How do we navigate our integration for what we've seen into the pattern of our lives? To stop performing awakening like a costume and start embodying it as a living reality. So why 144,000? Because every system has a tipping point. You don't need every drop of water to boil the pot, you need just enough. When enough people, enough cells in the body of humanity awaken and activate, the vibration of the whole changes. The dream itself morphs into what once was. These chosen ones will not be picked from some cosmic roulette, but because they choose themselves. This number is not literal, it's symbolic, an ancient code whispering that when enough individuals awaken to their true nature, the entire story of humanity shifts. But let's not romanticize this. Awakening isn't glamorous. It's not incense and mantras and pretty words. Awakening feels like death, because for the ego it is. Are you still unsure if you are part of that number? Does this secret code lie in your DNA? Are you a fallen angel? Have you completed enough karmic debts to be risen into the heavens? Or is it plain old fate that has borne this gift to you? In case you missed earlier, the answer is none of these. The only way is because you choose to be. People think waking up is the end of the road, like enlightenment is some final destination where everything becomes effortless bliss. But if you've truly awakened, you know the joke. The work hasn't ended, it has just begun. You've stepped out of the dream only to find yourself standing in the ruins of your old self, holding the pieces of a puzzle you never knew existed. The question hits you, now what? What do I do with the knowledge that the world I knew was never the whole truth, if any at all? What do I do with the unbearable awareness that I am both nothing and everything simultaneously? Being one of the 144,000 isn't about being special. It's about being responsible. It's about saying, I will not wait for someone else to change the world. I will not sit in spiritual entertainment while the old story burns. I will do the work, the inner and the outer, because literally everything depends on it. The great myth is not out there in some holy book. It's happening inside you right now. The archetypes are alive and looking for a home. Will you let them live through you? Will you carry the pattern? Will you become the bridge to span the gap of humanity's shift back to where it was long ago? This is why myths use the language of catastrophe. Because the ego can only experience liberation as death. The story of Ragnarok, the flood of Noah, the burning of the phoenix, these aren't about the end of the world. They're about the end of your world, and they're told in symbols because symbols are the only language deep enough to hold what is coming. Archetypal language isn't bound by time. Words age, myths don't. Because myths speak in images that pierce straight through the intellect into the marrow of the soul. They survive every translation, every cultural shift, because they speak to the eternal human drama, death, rebirth, and the fire that burns in between. And that's what this whole game was about from the beginning. To become one with God, and to do that you must become a god yourself. Not in arrogance, but in responsibility. To hold the same creative power that formed galaxies and to wield this power with love. That's what it means to be truly awake. That's what it means to answer the call. It's not about retreating to caves or chanting on mountaintops. It's about entering into the marketplace of every part of the world, with your heart on fire with love and compassion, to bring the divine into the ordinary, transfiguring matter with meaning. The call to awaken isn't about escaping the world, it's about redeeming it. Not by preaching or posturing, but by doing the work no one else can do for you. Which is integrating your own soul. Because when you do, you don't just save yourself, you move the entire pattern closer to completion. Every shadow you integrate, every lie you burn, every wound you heal, it ripples out into making the collective that much more whole. It alters the collective story. And maybe, just maybe, when enough of us answer that call, whether it's 144,000 or 144 million, the tide turns. The simulation upgrades, the veil thins, the next chapter begins. The number 144,000 isn't fixed, it's fluid. Every choice you make moves the needle. Every shadow you integrate adds to the total. The prophecy isn't waiting for them, it's waiting for you. But here's another secret. The abyss is not empty. It's pregnant with fear of what you are becoming. And if you can endure its silence without running back to old certainties, you will find something waiting for you on the other side. Power. Not power over others, that's the old game. This is power with life, with God, with the mystery that pulses through everything. This is the power to create reality, not because you force it, but because you've aligned yourself with the pattern that creates worlds. Choosing this does not guarantee comfort, because in the end, this was never just your story. This was the story of God remembering Himself through you. This is why awakening isn't soft. It tears, it strips, it dismantles every illusion you've built about who you are. And that's why so few answer the call. Because the price of truth is everything false about you. And most would rather keep their comforting lies than stand naked in the abyss. So I'll ask you one last time, when the 144,000 awaken, will you stand amongst their ranks,